world's only 10-passenger, three-wheeled motorcycle.
So I've been asked a lot to compare snow biking to snowmobiling.
Every motorcycle ride is an adventure, but some features turn that adventure into a nightmare. Danger can hide in plain sight, making each twist and turn a ticking time bomb. Which motorcycle features are the most dangerous? Join us as we uncover 14 dangerous motorcycle features that should be banned. The monowheel is a marvel of audacious design, capturing the imagination of thrill seekers and inventors alike with its single-wheeled approach to motorcycle travel. Early monowheels, powered by a mix of gas, electric, and pedal systems, could allegedly hit 93 miles per hour through manufacturers' claims that were often more fiction than fact.
You give it too much gas, it's going to ride up on you. If you give it too much brake, it's going to want to die.
Despite their daring appearance, these gadgets were incredibly dangerous. Riders had to master a difficult balancing act, with some models equipped with tiny stabilizing wheels that barely helped. The biggest risk came from the need to use their feet to counteract the wheel's tilt. Without precise control over speed and braking, riders faced the dreaded gurgling effect, where the wheel's instability could throw them into a dangerous spin inside the gadget. By the 1930s, the monowheel's appeal had diminished, overshadowed by the more stable bicycle and motorcycle designs. Yet this whimsical invention hasn't completely vanished. DIY enthusiasts like Kerry McLean have recently revived the concept with high-powered 8-cylinder versions. In Japan, some models even get a futuristic twist reminiscent of Tron. Despite the resurgence, the challenge remains, making these unique vehicles as safe as they are intriguing. Now let's turn to a feature that is both fascinating and highly murderous. In the early 20th century, an intriguing yet dangerous motorcycle design emerged: the four-car. This concept began with the Lloyd brothers' 1880 patent for a pedal tricycle steering mechanism, which evolved into a full-fledged motorcycle by 1901. One notable model was the Quadrant Autocyclet, which married a bicycle frame with a Minerva engine. By 1903, the Quadrant improved its design, placing the engine in a new loop frame, but the four-car design captured both innovation and danger. The four-car body style featured a unique layout. The passenger seat was positioned directly above the front axle in the front of the engine, which placed the occupants in a difficult position, particularly in a collision. Imagine the danger. A crash would thrust the passenger seated right at the front into the path of the oncoming force, making them incredibly vulnerable. Meanwhile, the driver's seat was situated behind and usually elevated, offering protection but creating a disjointed seating arrangement that could affect balance and control. Furthermore, the four-car design often lacked adequate weather protection. The passengers' exposed positioning meant that, aside from the obvious safety risks, they were also exposed to the elements, adding to the discomfort and danger of riding these early machines. While the four-car represented an innovative approach to motorcycle design, it also highlighted the era's limited understanding of safety. The positioning of passengers in the front of the engine, combined with minimal protection and an unconventional seating arrangement, made the four-car a fascinating but hazardous piece of motorcycle history. Innovation often drives performance and style in motorcycles, but sometimes it ventures into risky territory. One such daring feature that has gained popularity in Asia is the use of skinny wheels, a design choice that, while visually striking, introduces significant dangers.
It did raise up a little bit. I was really worried about feeling like I was going to ride a wheelie the whole time.
As the name suggests, skinny wheels are much narrower than standard motorcycle wheels. This design was originally intended to enhance the bike's agility and speed. Thicker wheels would reduce rolling, resistance, and allow quicker acceleration and sharper cornering. In Asia, where motorcycle culture is vibrant and diverse, skinny wheels have become common on many bikes, from urban commuters to stylish cruisers. However, this comes with a host of wild consequences. First and foremost, skinny wheels dramatically compromise stability. Skinny wheels have a reduced grip area than wider wheels, which provide a larger contact patch with the road. This means less traction, especially on uneven or slippery surfaces. When riding a motorcycle with skinny wheels, the likelihood of skidding or losing control increases, particularly in adverse weather conditions. Another critical risk is the impact on handling. While skinny wheels improve maneuverability in ideal conditions, they can make the bike more susceptible to sudden changes in the road surface. Potholes, debris, or even slight imperfections can destabilize the motorcycle, leading to dangerous situations. The reduced wheel width also affects the bike's ability to absorb shocks, making for a harsher and more uncomfortable ride. Moreover, skinny wheels often need to be more durable. The reduced width can lead to quicker wear and tear, with tires prone to damage from road hazards. This shortens the wheel's lifespan and heightens the risk of a blowout while riding. Up next is a bold but dangerous motorcycle feature. In the vibrant world of custom motorcycles, few features spark as much excitement or controversy as extremely high handlebars, often referred to as ape hangers. This daring design, popular among custom Harley-Davidson enthusiasts, features handlebars above the rider's head. While these towering handlebars give bikes an undeniably cool, aggressive look, they come with serious risks. When it comes to Harley-Davidson motorcycles, the customization possibilities are virtually endless. Enthusiasts around the globe craft unique rides every day, with custom styles ranging from Harley-Davidson custom tires to choppers and bodies. Custom Harley-Davidson bikes with high ape hangers or tall handlebars often stand out. These eye-catching handlebars, like those on Harley-Davidson Softail, Road King, Fat Boy, and Sportsters, create a distinctive vintage vibe that's hard to ignore. Custom choppers, too, often feature these high handlebars for added flair. Despite their visual appeal, extremely high handlebars pose several safety concerns. The elevated position forces riders into a stretched-out posture that can lead to fatigue and discomfort. More critically, this design compromises the rider's control over the motorcycle. With the handlebars so high, making quick adjustments or responding rapidly to sudden road conditions becomes challenging. Additionally, high handlebars can obstruct the rider's vision, making it difficult to see road signs, other vehicles, and potential hazards. This impaired visibility increases the risk of accidents. A higher center of gravity can also affect the bike's stability, making it less balanced during high-speed maneuvers or sharp turns. In custom motorcycles, innovation often meets bold design choices, but sometimes these choices can be downright dangerous. A striking example is the extra seating feature, a novelty that adds additional seats to a motorcycle. While transitioning a solo ride into a communal experience might sound appealing, it introduces significant risks.
I built this bike and I've got 8 ex-wives and they all like to ride.
Take the Anaconda, a customized Harley-Davidson touted as the first 10-seater motorcycle. This audacious creation pushes the boundaries of motorcycle design by adding multiple seats, allowing an unusually large group to ride together. However, this seemingly adventurous modification comes with severe safety concerns. The primary danger lies in the motorcycle's balance and control. Motorcycles are engineered for a specific weight distribution, and adding extra seats disrupts this delicate balance. The additional weight can compromise the bike's handling, making it prone to instability. The risk of tipping over increases exponentially in sharp turns or sudden maneuvers. Moreover, the extra seats also complicate the rider's visibility and maneuverability. With more passengers, the motorcycle's profile becomes bulkier, making it harder for the rider to gauge surrounding traffic and obstacles. This reduced visibility increases the likelihood of collisions and accidents. It's already risky enough to ride a motorcycle with extra rear seats. Now imagine riding one with no seat. Imagine cruising down the highway on a motorcycle without a seat. Just you, the engine, and the open road. This might sound like a sci-fi fantasy, but it's a real design concept that pushes the boundaries of motorcycle engineering. On a motorcycle designed with no seat, the rider is left with the unconventional challenge of standing throughout their ride. This setup transforms the traditional riding experience into something radically different. Instead of sitting comfortably, the rider stands upright, gripping the handlebars with both hands, while their feet rest on specifically designed foot pegs or platforms. Standing while riding introduces a host of new dynamics. The rider must constantly engage their core muscles to maintain balance and stability, especially during acceleration and braking. This posture requires exceptional steadiness and physical endurance, as the rider's entire body controls the bike's movements. To counterbalance the lack of a seat, the motorcycle's design typically includes strategically placed footrest and handlebar grips that can help the rider stay upright. However, standing for extended periods can lead to fatigue and discomfort as the rider's legs and feet endure the full force of road vibrations and shocks without the benefit of a seat's cushioning. Furthermore, standing while riding affects how the rider interacts with the motorcycle's controls. Subtle weight distribution and body positioning adjustments become critical for steering and maneuvering. Any sudden shift or loss of balance can significantly impact the bike's handling, making precise control more challenging. The open chain drive stands out as a bold relic from the early days of motorcycling,
Chains and sprockets can bite, so keep your digits out of those pinch points.
combining simplicity with significant risks. This feature, consisting of an exposed chain running from the engine to the rear wheel, was once a hallmark of motorcycle design. However, its lack of protection makes it hazardous. One of the open chain drive's most pressing dangers is its vulnerability to debris. Because the chain is not enclosed, it attracts dirt, stones, and other road debris. These particles can get lodged in the chain or cause it to stretch and wear unevenly. Riding over rough terrain or gravel can send small stones flying into the chain, potentially causing it to snap or derail. Such features can lead to sudden loss of control, seriously threatening the rider's safety. The open chain drive also poses a direct injury risk. The exposed chain is a whirling hazard, especially during a crash or fall. In such incidents, the chain can cause severe lacerations or other injuries if a rider comes into contact with it. While the open chain drive is a nostalgic feature that reflects the rugged spirit of early motorcycles, its risks underscore why modern designs have largely abandoned this unprotected setup. Today's motorcycles prioritize rider safety and durability with enclosed chain systems, marking a significant evolution from the open chain drives. Now, here's a relic of simplicity that can spell instant disaster. Motorcycles from the early 20th century had a distinctive feature that set them apart from today's machines: the Springer front end. This design, which used exposed springs and linkages, offered an innovative solution to road shock before hydraulic forks became standard. While they were a major advancement at the time, Springer front ends also introduced several unique and dangerous challenges.
Springer front end actually came out in the early 1930s on the VL flathead models.
The Springer front end was a mechanical marvel designed to absorb road bumps and keep the wheel in contact with the ground. The key components included the spring assembly and linkage, which were meant to reduce the impact of uneven surfaces. However, this system was inherently risky due to its exposed springs and complex linkage. At high speeds, the springs, while intended to reduce oscillation, could also cause the front end to behave unpredictably, especially if worn or misaligned. One of the Springer front end's most dangerous aspects was its mechanical complexity. The assembly required frequent greasing and maintenance to ensure proper function, and failure to maintain these parts could result in catastrophic mechanical issues. Even though the design included a bit of rake to improve stability, it also introduced new handling quirks that could be tricky for riders to manage. Radical engines, once a marvel of early aviation and motorcycling, have a peculiar charm that masks their inherent dangers. These engines, characterized by their unique design where cylinders radiate out from a central crankshaft, are known for their size and complexity, which introduce significant challenges in ground vehicles, particularly motorcycles. Size is the first major concern. Radial engines are notoriously large, with their crankshaft sitting much higher than conventional ones. This elevated position raises the center of gravity in a motorcycle, creating stability issues that can make handling precarious. The engine's bulk also increases the frontal area, adding substantial drag. This drag reduces the vehicle's aerodynamic efficiency and makes high-speed performance risky as the bike struggles to cut through the air. Oiling presents another critical issue. In radial engines, the oil naturally settles in the lowest parts of the engine, where the cylinders are. This can lead to oil seeping past the rings and accumulating in the combustion chambers. When starting the engine, this excess oil can cause a condition known as hydrolock, where the engine cannot turn over due to the liquid's incompressibility. This can lead to severe damage, bending, or breaking connecting rods, leading to costly repairs. Additionally, radial engines are notorious for leaking and burning oil, often requiring constant maintenance and making them prone to becoming total loss oiling systems. Cleaning is yet another challenge. Radial engines frequently spew oil due to oiling issues, making keeping the motorcycle clean a never-ending task. The engine's propensity to coat itself in oil further complicates maintenance and can lead to slippery, unsafe conditions for the rider. Now let's talk about a motorcycle feature that offers a thrilling yet risky blend of winter adventure and unstable handling. One of the most unconventional motorcycle features ever imagined for a motorcycle is the integration of skis. Yes, skis, attached to each side of the bike. These aren't just skis. They're mounted on springs, allowing them to move up and down to absorb bumps, while the motorcycle's wheels sit slightly lower than the skis. This setup is intended to provide propulsion and some steering capability on snow or ice-covered surfaces. Adding skis to a motorcycle might seem like a futuristic dream, but it carries many dangers. Firstly, the ski's placement and movement could drastically affect stability. The springs are designed to absorb shocks but can't fully compensate for the lack of friction and traction compared to traditional wheels. When cornering, the motorcycle's top-heavy nature and the ski's limited lateral stability create a significant risk of tipping over. The skis might not be spaced far enough apart to provide the necessary balance, making sharp turns treacherous. Additionally, the ski's ability to steer and maintain control on varying terrain is still being determined. The motorcycle's design, with its wheels positioned lower, means that while the skis might offer some traction on snow, they could also lead to unpredictable handling and reduced maneuverability. The overall risk factor skyrockets when you consider high speeds or sudden maneuvers, making this feature an intriguing yet hazardous experiment in motorcycle design. In the early 20th century, motorcycle enthusiasts experienced a cutting-edge yet perilous innovation: acetylene headlights. This unique feature utilized a reaction between water and calcium carbide in a lamp mounted on the motorcycle, producing acetylene gas that ignited to create bright illumination.
You can see now we've got a double beam.
Yeah.
So it's now time to close the light.
While this method promised high brightness and resilience against wind and water compared to traditional kerosene lamps, it came with significant risks. The acetylene gas was produced in a generator attached to the motorcycle, where water dripped onto calcium carbide to create gas. The motorcycle's sloshing motion could affect the water flow, making the process highly sensitive to driving conditions and potentially dangerous if disrupted. In heavy traffic, where the motorcycle's movement was limited, the acetylene production would decrease, gradually dimming the headlight. This unpredictability made it dangerous, especially at night or in poor visibility. Moreover, the carbide lamp's generation of acetylene gas produced a byproduct called calcium hydroxide, also known as slaked lime, which accumulated in the generator as the gas was formed. This byproduct was highly corrosive and could cause severe irritation if it came into contact with the skin. Rainy weather further worsened the dangers, as the headlights, despite their initial water resistance, could become unreliable, and the exposure to moisture could cause hazardous reactions with the chemicals involved. The classic Kickstarter mechanism on vintage motorcycles is a throwback to an earlier era but carries many dangers. This distinctive feature requires the rider to kick a lever to start the engine physically. While it might seem quaint, the Kickstarter can be surprisingly risky. One significant challenge is starting the bike, particularly when the engine is cold. A cold start often demands extra effort, which can be physically taxing. Repeated kicking can leave your feet sore and exhausted, especially if the bike doesn't start on the first attempt. More critically, the Kickstarter poses a risk due to its recoil mechanism. If the engine backfires, a common occurrence, The Kickstarter lever can snap back violently. This sudden and forceful recoil can cause serious injuries, such as bruised shins or even broken bones, if the rider isn't braced for it. In competitive racing, the Kickstarter's drawbacks become even more apparent. The time required to get the bike started can be a substantial disadvantage. In a high-speed race where every fraction of a second matters, the possibility of the bike failing to start promptly could cost the rider a win. In the early days of motorcycle design, a daring and risky concept emerged: the propeller-equipped motorcycle. This novel feature featured a spinning propeller mounted at the front of the bike, intended to enhance speed and aerodynamic efficiency. On paper, the propeller seemed like a futuristic innovation poised to revolutionize motorcycle performance. However, it introduced significant dangers that quickly overshadowed its potential benefits. The primary risk was instability. The spinning blades created unpredictable aerodynamic forces at high speeds, making the motorcycle difficult to control. The propeller's centrifugal force could cause the bike to wobble or veer off course, especially on uneven or slippery surfaces. Moreover, the proximity of the spinning propeller to the rider posed a severe safety hazard. Any sudden movements or accidents could result in serious injuries from the rotating blades, and even minor mechanical failures or debris caught in the propeller could lead to dangerous situations. Despite its groundbreaking design, the propeller-equipped motorcycle's inherent dangers led to its widespread abandonment. However, it remains an intriguing example of how innovation must be carefully balanced with safety and practicality. Early motorcycles had hand-shifted gears, which were intriguing but dangerous. In these vintage designs, the gear lever was mounted on the side of the fuel tank, requiring riders to shift gears using their left hand while their right hand remained on the throttle and brake controls. The primary danger of this system was the loss of control it introduced. Riders had reduced stability and steering precision with one hand off the handlebars. Shifting gears became a delicate juggling act, as riders had to manage both the gear lever and the handlebars simultaneously. Maintaining balance and control was significantly compromised during critical movements, such as making quick maneuvers or navigating uneven terrain. Additionally, the need to frequently take one hand off the handlebars increased the risk of accidents. The bike's handling could become unpredictable, especially if the rider does not manage the gear changes smoothly. As a result, the hand-shifted gear system proved less practical and more hazardous than later designs that integrated